The story begins during the Divine Calendar year 3204 in the northern Divine region of Baidi City. Thunder was happening as it turned out Su Bai, our main protagonist, was in the process of entering the land of immortals to achieve immortality. He believes that as long as he can block the last ray of divine thunder, his ascension will have no obstacles. However, a lady disrupted him. She cast a divine thunder technique, and Su Bai caught her attention. The lady attacked him using her divine thunder and lightning. She landed on the ground and pointed her sword at Su Bai. "This disciple of yours, Lin Wanqiu, urges the master to surrender," she uttered. Su Bai was furious because this lady had interfered with and disrupted his ascension ceremony. He cast his magic power while telling the lady she cannot rely on her power to subdue him. Before he could attack, someone charged at him and stabbed him in the back. The one who did it to him was another lady he called by the name Bai Yuyu. Su Bai knew this lady. He told her he had never treated her unfairly, which is why he never thought she would betray him. He gritted his teeth in anger. He attacked the ground, and both ladies flew away from him. A golden coin appeared above him and struck him on the ground. He could not move. He just looked at the coin and concluded that the owner of this magic, Shuer, might also be one of his traitors. He still had the guts to ask about the two ladies who were not around. As per Shuer, his crimes were too numerous to list. She blamed him for what was happening to him right now. Su Bai suddenly laughed very loudly. The three ladies were clueless as to why. He then stood and said, "Good, too numerous to list. Have you listed all the false charges too?" He then cast a fire magic and proclaimed that these three ladies looked down on him too much. The fire became stronger and stronger as he activated his divine soul's true body law of heaven and earth. "Although I don't know what you guys have planned, since you wish to take my life, then come to hell with me," he screamed. The ladies panicked, wanting to stop him, knowing that he was planning to self-destruct. They tried to go to him all together, but then a strong explosion happened. Surprisingly, Su Bai woke up and found himself in a different place. He was shocked by the fact that he was still alive. He stood, wondering where he was. He looked at the window and saw people running away from zombies. He then realized that he was reborn, but in another body. From his memories, he recalled this was the time when the outbreak of the apocalypse happened, the time when the zombies were going rampant. Right now, he was still clueless as to why he was betrayed by those three ladies. He decided to forget about it for now and train his body to its peak condition. He smiled while thinking that he would teach those ladies a lesson once he returned to the world of immortal cultivation. He started meditating as he thought this technique could help him. With his current spiritual state close to the immortal realm, even if he had to rebuild from the beginning, he knew he would make rapid progress. However, he was puzzled when he could not feel the presence of his spiritual power. He was afraid, concluding that his current body's aptitude was so poor that it couldn't even sense the spiritual power. He went back to the window and caught blows of wind. As he closed his fist, he was dumbfounded that there was no spiritual power in this world. He was annoyed since there was no way to cultivate in this place without spiritual power. Let alone surviving in this world would be extremely hard. Right now, a guy and a lady arrived at the room next to Su Bai's room. They were panting as they were running away from the zombies. The lady proclaimed she was scared, so the guy with her touched her waist and told her not to be afraid since they were together. The guy removed her upper clothing and positioned himself above the lady lying in bed. At the same time, the lady noticed a wound on the guy's arm. She asked about it, and the guy replied that he might have gotten bitten by those crazy people on the street. They thought nothing would happen, so they continued doing their business. On the brink of their pleasure, the guy suddenly stopped. The lady told him to keep going, but then the guy suddenly turned into a zombie. The lady was scared. The zombie roared and tried to bite her. She pushed him away while screaming in fear. Since the zombie wouldn't let her go, she kicked him, and while she's screaming, Su Bai hears her, so he finds out there are still people in this building aside from him. The voice was familiar to him. According to his current body's memories, the one screaming was his girlfriend and her lover. He then headed out of his room, realizing that this old owner of his body was also a poor guy who was betrayed by the people around him. He easily found the lady and saw her being attacked by a zombie. The lady called him by his name, asking him to save her. However, he slowly closed the door, which shocked the lady as she believed he would rescue her. The lady cursed him out of anger for not saving her. The lady cursed him, telling him she would never let him go, even if she turned into a ghost. Su Bai closed the door with a smirk, thinking that the lady deserved it. Su Bai went back to his room and looked out the window. He told himself he had to think of a way out of this place, as he was afraid he would die here, let alone return to his original world. He decided to meditate again, trying his best to save himself. He knew it would depend on whether he got lucky enough to retrieve something that could save his life from his sea of consciousness. But with his body's current cultivation level, he believed there was no way he could even consider advanced-level magic weapons, such as the 9 Changes Spirit pellet. He clenched his fist and told himself he must take a chance and hope for the best outcome. At this moment, the 10,000 Souls banner, a low-level magic weapon, appeared right in front of him. However, he felt insulted and threw it away, saying this weapon was such a ripoff. What's the point of giving this low-level magic weapon to someone like me? If you don't have the 9 Changes Soul pellet, at least give me the God Treasure armor to save my skin, he said with anger. A system interface then popped up out of nowhere. There was a message in the window saying that it had been detected that the host had obtained the magic weapon 10,000 Souls banner, and the host was now bound to the 10,000 Souls banner system. The system added that the current system level was level 1, which can accommodate 10 souls. To upgrade to level 2, the host needs to hunt down an elementary mutant. Su Bai was staring at the system, but as far as he could remember, this weapon only had the function of collecting souls, so he didn't know what else it could do. The 10,000 Souls banner can collect the souls of the dead, convert their soul power into spiritual power, and feed it back to the host. The higher the level of the 10,000 Souls banner, the stronger the souls it can collect, and the more spiritual power the host can obtain in return. As per the system, the soul of a being dead for over 5 minutes will leave the body and vanish, and cannot be collected. Su Bai smiled upon knowing that it was actually possible to transform soul power into spiritual power. In this way, even if this world didn't have the spiritual power of heaven and earth, with the streets outside full of zombies, there would be no shortage of materials to get spiritual power. Su Bai, at this moment, heard his girlfriend knocking on the door. They were roaring, wanting to get out of the room. Su Bai opened the door. He was holding the weapon he just got and charged toward them. He then struck both zombies together, and the weapon collected the 2 zombies' souls. The zombies fell to the ground lifeless, and Su Bai then pulled the weapon out and said, "So noisy. Do you think I'm a pushover?" The weapon flew above him, and there was an azure light wrapped around his body. He absorbed it, and he was shocked when a breakthrough happened. As per the system, the current realm is the spiritual sea realm. His 10,000 Souls banner is still level 1, and the current controllable souls are 2. A week passed by, and zombies were still rampant. People were running away while Su Bai casually walked without any fear. Right now, his body was still too weak, so he couldn't do much cultivation. He was walking around, planning to find some supplies, and then consider upgrading the level of the 10,000 Souls banner. At this time, there were zombies above the buildings. 2 zombies jumped down on a fat lady. The lady cried in fear, but she became very determined to survive. She pushed the slim lady behind her while saying sorry. The lady fell to the ground, and Su Bai at the same time was shocked upon seeing her. It turned out this lady was Lin Wanqiu, the first lady who betrayed him. The 2 zombies were touching the lady, trying to bite her alive. Su Bai was wondering why she was here. He was mad and activated the power of his weapon. He attacked the zombies while saying, "Lin Wanqiu, you wicked disciple, you should die by my hands." He successfully struck the zombies. He jumped toward the zombies and pushed his weapon deep. The zombies fell to the ground in front of Wanqiu, and she was terrified looking at it. She was teary-eyed as it sank in that she was still alive. She was looking at Su Bai, still surprised that someone had saved her. "Huh, not long ago, you used the Divine Thunder technique to force me into such a miserable state, but now you appear so weak in front of a tiny demon. Lin Wanqiu, you have greatly disappointed your master," Su Bai said. The lady was puzzled. She didn't get what Su Bai was talking about, and she wondered how Su Bai knew her name. She stood and bowed to him. She thanked him and asked him if they had met somewhere before. Su Bai was annoyed and pointed his spear at her. He accused her of pretending to be crazy just to escape from her doom. "Sir, this is not the time to act like we're in a dramatic play. I don't know if there are any more monsters like these nearby, so we'd better leave as soon as possible," the lady replied. Su Bai was confused as he noticed that the lady right in front of him wasn't the Lin Wanqiu he knew. He was in disbelief since the lady really looked the same as his disciple. And a part of him concluded that this lady lost her memories after coming to this world. He decided to investigate, but his tummy growled all of a sudden. Wanchio laughed and suggested they should go to the big shopping mall to get some supplies and eat. Su Bai thought about it and said, "If that's the case, I will accompany you to see for myself." Wanchio held his wrist and led him, saying they might get more supplies while waiting for rescue if they arrived quickly. Still, Su Bai didn't want to trust her. But he knew he didn't have a choice for now, and he also wanted to confirm if the lady really lost her memories or was just acting. Nevertheless, he never forgot the fact that Wanchio betrayed him, and he wanted to make her pay the price. After a few minutes, Wanchio and Su Bai arrived at the mall. Before entering, the lady stopped and asked for Su Bai's name. At this moment, Su Bai started to believe that the lady wasn't pretending at all. He walked toward the mall's entrance and told his name to the lady while thinking he wouldn't let her go even if she lost her memories. They entered the mall together, and the lady told Su Bai they should take this mall as their shelter while waiting for rescue. However, they found out that there were already zombies inside. The lady was terrified and almost screamed. "What is this? Why are there so many monsters here?" she asked. The zombies noticed their presence. At the same time, there was a different monster inside. This monster was attacking the zombies. Su Bai was smiling, thinking that the aura of the unknown monster was probably at the initial stage of the spiritual sea realm and should be an elementary mutant. Since Wanchio found out that the place had already been ruined by the zombies, she told Su Bai they should leave quickly. But she was puzzled when Su Bai didn't move and did not respond. Su Bai summoned his weapon and said, "It just so happens that I need a sacrifice to upgrade my 10,000 souls banner to level 2. He then activated the power of his weapon and stated that this was a good chance to try out the 10,000 souls banner's ability. He summoned his 2 collected souls using the weapon, and he commanded them to defeat the enemies right in front of him. His 2 zombies then started attacking the zombies around. His male zombie easily took down several zombies. There was a fat zombie behind who almost attacked his male zombie, but then the male zombie jumped above and kicked the fat zombie. The female zombie then squeezed the fat zombie's face and cut it into 2. This time, the mutant jumped towards Su Bai's zombies. Su Bai instantly saw it. He then commanded his zombies to retreat, and the 2 zombies followed his command. The mutant ended up killing the normal zombies instead of Su Bai's zombies. Su Bai concluded that the mutant doesn't care about life or death, but his spiritual power was limited right now, so he believes delaying would be no good for him. He had to act quickly. He used a technique and let his zombies charge toward the mutant. The male zombie charged toward the mutant, but the mutant easily struck him with its sharp, long nails. The female zombie then jumped on the mutant and sat on its shoulder while holding its head. Su Bai was controlling the zombie using his ability. The female zombie widely opened her mouth and bit the mutant. The mutant screamed in agony, but the female zombie pulled its neck skin after biting it. The mutant roared and went hysterical. It fell to the ground and was finally eliminated. After the commotion, Su Bai went to his male zombie. He was standing in front of it while holding his weapon. He then detained the zombie, and the zombie was wrapped with his weapon's chain and sucked it in, including the mutant zombie. The system window then popped up, congratulating Su Bai for killing an elementary zombie. As per the system, the level of the 10,000 souls banner had been upgraded to level 2, which could accommodate 5 more souls. To advance to the next level, Su Bai must hunt down an advanced zombie. Based on what Su Bai read on the system, he deduced that he needed to hunt down a foundation beast, but he wasn't sure if he could make it with his current cultivation level, which was still at the spiritual sea realm. While standing still, Wanchio approached him. She was blushing while telling him she originally thought he was just some insane guy, and she never expected he would be so amazing. Su Bai right now was hesitant to believe if Wanchio was still his clever second disciple when, in fact, she's just like a silly girl now. Before he could respond, a guy screamed, telling everyone to come out. It turned out there were a lot of people hiding around. They said they could now continue distributing supplies and wait for rescue in peace, since the monsters inside were all dead. "Mr. Su Bai, we're safe now with so many supplies. We should be able to hold out until rescue comes," Wanchio stated, but a guy behind her was mad and said, "And who are you two? Don't you know the rule of first come, first served?" This guy claimed that the mall was their territory, so he wouldn't allow the 2 to take supplies. The people behind this guy agreed and told Su Bai and Wancho not to take their supplies as they got them with great difficulty while escaping from the monsters. Wancho was mad at them. She told them that Su Bai was the one who killed the monsters, so they shouldn't take advantage of his work. But the men wouldn't believe her just because of the thin body of Su Bai. They chose to believe that the zombies killed each other rather than being killed by Su Bai himself. Wancho screamed out of anger. But Su Bai touched her shoulder and said, "Well then, since ancient times, wealth was what stirred the hearts of the people. You must know that you cannot gain anything by words." Wancho then told him that he was really the one who cleared the monsters while the men were just trying to take advantage of his work and even slander him. Su Bai was smiling. He proclaimed that only the weak use such petty tricks, but the strong are always right. He moved closer to the guys and informed them he needed to get some supplies. He permitted them to say who was in favor and who was against. Of course, everyone was against him and belittled him for being outnumbered. They even scared him that he wouldn't be safe if they got angry. Su Bai chuckled and said, "Then you can die. The supplies will be all mine when you are dead." His aura became different as he summoned his elementary zombie. The men were dumbfounded as they never expected to see the monster still alive. Su Bai then commanded the monster to kill everyone who was against him, and the guys got scared and begged for mercy. They allowed him to take all the supplies as long as he would never kill them. However, Su Bai didn't have mercy at all. The beast killed 2 of the people, and the remaining ones got scared and screamed in fear. "Is there anyone who wants to stop me now?" Su Bai asked. Everyone was silent. Su Bai then told Wancho that no one would disobey her now, so she could take whatever she wanted. Wancho was still mad at the people who had stopped them. She thanked Su Bai and immediately grabbed supplies she could use. She looked at Su Bai and was puzzled. She then asked him if he didn't need some supplies. "Don't you get it? In return for saving you, I just want you to help me carry some supplies. Isn't that fair?" Su Bai replied. He only said it just for him to confirm if the lady was just acting or really had amnesia. He thought she would be annoyed, but then it turned out the lady was happy to help. She grabbed more supplies, including the supplies she should carry for Su Bai. Su Bai was puzzled and thought that the lady might just be a resemblance of his disciple. After getting supplies, she stood while carrying the bag and informed Su Bai she was ready to go. She asked him what they should do next. Su Bai turned around and informed her he would go find a stronger zombie, and he wanted her to follow him with the supplies. The lady raised her hand and was excited as she said, "Ah yes, let's go." Su Bai led the way while the lady followed him without any hesitation. While leaving, the people behind them were gossiping as they could not accept that someone could just kill people casually. When the 2 disappeared, the people left decided to divide the remaining supplies quickly and hide. They started grabbing supplies without knowing someone was watching them. It turned out that Su Bai left his zombies inside, and both of these zombies headed to the humans fighting for the supplies. The people started hitting each other just because the supplies were lacking. And while fighting, they were terrified when they saw the monsters. A guy was scared, shivering, asking why there were still monsters when they thought they were all gone. Everyone screamed and ran away. They didn't want to get any supplies, but hoped they could at least survive. However, even if they tried to escape, Su Bai's zombies killed everyone mercilessly. The fat lady who pushed Wancho before remained alive despite being already wounded. She was asking for help and proclaimed she wanted to survive. But then, the male zombie was right in front of her and ended her life without any hesitation. After killing everyone, Su Bai detained his monsters back. For him, it was better to remove the problem from the root to stop endless trouble from coming his way. He could currently control only 3 undead. And if he had to face more than 10 zombies simultaneously, he believed he must avoid attracting too much attention, keeping a low profile until his level increases. While thinking, Wancho called him. She was panting, asking him to wait for her, as it turned out he was walking fast. "I'm busy enough. I don't have the time to chat with you. You really believe that I won't leave you here if you dare waste my time again?" Su Bai said. Wancho was struggling. She told Su Bai that she believed that he would never abandon her. Su Bai smirked and then said, "Why is that? There is no connection between us. Wouldn't abandoning you be easy?" The lady then confidently informed him that she knew where he could find the powerful zombie he was looking for. Because of what the lady said, Su Bai asked her once more if she really knew the whereabouts of the advanced zombie. According to the lady, She saw a very unique monster near the school's artificial lake not long ago, and it exuded a unique aura. She was anxious while stating that she didn't know if that zombie was the one Su Bai was searching for, but she was sure that the zombie she was referring to was quite dangerous. Upon hearing it, Su Bai planned to investigate it himself. He then told the lady she still had some value, and he asked her to lead the way. Still, he continued walking fast, so the lady told him he should be the one following her if he wanted her to lead the way. Meanwhile, they reached the school Wanchio was referring to. Many zombies were roaming around. The lady wanted to make sure they wouldn't be seen, so she checked the area first by glancing left and right. "You have been walking properly until now. Why did you stop?" Su Bai asked. Wanchio shushed him and informed him that many people who were in the school had turned into monsters, and she believed it would be difficult to deal with these monsters if they accidentally provoked them. However, Su Bai didn't want to waste his time. He struck his spear on the ground as he summoned his 3 beasts and commanded them to clear the path by eliminating all the zombies. His beasts followed his command and easily unalived everyone. At this moment, Su Bai was wondering what happened to this world and why many people had become something in between a human and a ghost. They suddenly heard screaming. They found out there were still people alive in the area. Wanchio turned his head around since the voice was so familiar to her. 3 guys were holding weapons as a lot of zombies wanted to bite them. They were scared since zombies weren't hesitant to move closer to them. One of the guys threw his weapon at the zombie that attempted to attack him. The zombie roared and jumped towards them, but one of them bravely pushed the zombie away, and the other one hit it with his metal. They planned to retreat knowing that these zombies were not something they could fight against. Wanchio was watching them, and she mentioned the names Gu Ming and Lu Mingxian and wondered why they were here. Su Bai asked her if she knew them, and she replied that both males were her classmates. "Is that so? So what? You don't expect me to save them, do you?" Su Bai said. Wonka suddenly pulled his wrist and told him they should quickly leave the place while those monsters are distracted. She's afraid they won't make it out alive once the zombies notice their existence. "You're not going to save them? Aren't they your classmates?" Su Bai asked. "If circumstances allowed, I might consider helping them, but right now, I can't put you in danger, Mr. Su Bai." The lady replied while continuing to run. Su Bai was surprised since the lady in his previous life would never say such things. And by that, he concludes right now that she is just an ordinary girl. While they were escaping, Gu Ming and Ming Xian were calling Wonki's name. They were begging to help them, and Wonka just closed her eyes while hearing their words. She knew that Ming Xian was just trying to drag them down with them. Still, they ignored them, and the lady was scared when she saw more zombies coming. The zombies saw their existence. She screamed in fear while Su Bai remained calm. They rushed to them, and the lady was sweating as she proclaimed, "They're coming this way." She started to cry while saying sorry to Su Bai. She feels guilty that she wasn't able to keep him safe. She blamed herself, but Su Bai stood in front of her and told her to step back. He then used his weapon and attacked the zombies while proclaiming, "I've slain the 9 nether demon lord himself. Do you really think some lowly undead creatures are worthy of taking my life?" When the magic was released from his weapon, the zombies flew away. His 3 summoned undead fought with the zombies while they were just watching. All the zombies' attention was on the undead. They were biting them, and the lady, unfortunately, was eliminated. A system notification then appeared, stating that the current number of controllable zombies is 2. Su Bai was disappointed. He concludes that controlling 10 zombies at once is already his limit with his current strength. Now he tried to think of a way to lure the zombies away from them. Only then would they have a chance to escape. He calls Wonka, and the lady, still crying, asks what she could do for him. He then asked her if there was anything nearby that could make a loud noise, as he needed it to draw the zombies' attention away. Wonka then thinks where she could find a place with noise. Then, after a few seconds, she handed her phone to Su Bai, and Su Bai didn't even know what it was. He was holding it, and Wonka then tapped as she played music on the phone. The noise caught the zombies' attention. Su Bai tried moving it to confirm that the zombies were following the sound. He smiled when he confirmed it and said, "What a great treasure." He then threw the phone, and all the zombies chased it. Wonka, at the same time, was dumbfounded seeing Su Bai throw her phone away. The zombies were waiting for the phone to land, but the undead of Su Bai caught it. He used his weapon, and a chain appeared. He attacked the zombies, and numerous were affected. Wonka was shocked by the fact that because of her phone, the zombies' attention is now not on them. Su Bai then grabbed her wrist and ran away from the place. She was startled, telling her to slow down. They went inside the school building, and the lady immediately sat on the floor while panting. "Mr. Su Bai, I really owe you once again. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have made it this far," she said. Su Bai then replied, "It's fine. You help me locate high-tier zombies, and I keep you safe. We both get what we need." 3 men, Wonky's classmates, suddenly entered the room where they rested. They closed the door while saying they're glad those zombies suddenly ran off. Mingxian and Wonka were shocked upon seeing each other. "Lin Wonka, thank goodness, you made it out too," he said. The 3 guys were glad, believing she had come back for them with supplies in her bag. They were very happy opening her back and got excited seeing lots of stuff inside. "What are you guys doing?" "Mr. Su Bai obtained these supplies. I don't have the right to distribute them on his behalf," Wonka said. Mingxian got mad at her, asking her the point of distinguishing between his and hers in such times. She ordered the lady to give them some supplies since they also needed some. The nerdy guy stopped them from arguing and reminded them they aren't in a safe place. "Let's go back to the classroom first, and then we can think about distribution," he added. He also told Su Bai to join them, knowing that they are stronger when they're in numbers. Su Bai agreed to him and followed them, heading to a classroom. While walking, Wonka apologizes to Su Bai and tells her not to worry, as she won't let those boys take the supplies inside her bag. Su Bai then told her it's fine since his only goal is to find the advanced zombie. And also, a part of him believes that Wonka won't listen to her if she tells the 3 boys not to get the stuff. Wonka smiled and told him that there are many teachers among the survivors, which is why he believes the 3 boys wouldn't dare to mess around. Su Bai smiled then said, "They better not dare to." Right now, the 3 boys were conversing. Gu Ming proclaimed that they can support themselves for at least a month while waiting for rescue with the help of the supplies Wonka was carrying. Mingxian was hesitant to believe that Wonka would let it happen. And also he was curious about Su Bai. The nerdy guy chuckled and said, "Now that they are in our territory, do you think they can still refuse us? If they behave properly, we can give them something otherwise." After a few minutes of walking, they finally reached class 108. It turned out some students were inside, and Meng Xian asked them to open the door and proclaimed they had come back with supplies. A lady opened the door and widely smiled upon seeing them. She was excited about the supplies, but before discussing it, they first entered, and Su Bai and Wonka saw more people waiting inside. Su Bai then concludes that these people were survivors, and he deduces that the zombies have not been around for too long, which is why these people survived. "Wonka, please distribute the supplies to everyone quickly. We haven't eaten anything for 3 days now," the nerdy boy ordered. Wonka said and replied, "Okay." Before distributing it, she told them she could only give half of the supplies at most since the other half belonged to her master Su Bai. Mingxian questioned her why one guy needed so many supplies. He said he could just pay as long as he could get more supplies. He looked straight at Su Bai, confidently said he would pay Su Bai 10 times the market price. Su Bai smiled at him and said he didn't have any objections at all. Mingxian then checked the stuff while telling Su Bai he's such a smart guy. However, he was shocked when something held his jaw. It turned out that Su Bai summoned his undead and told Mingxian that this monster is the one who objected. Mingxian was terrified, and the other students were also scared and ran away, blaming Mingxuan's group. "You're the one, right?" Su Bai asked to Mingxian. He blamed him why his 2 undead being killed. Mingxian was begging for mercy, but Su Bai threw him away and stomped on his chest, causing him to spit out blood. "Tell me, should I kill you? Should I take your soul to make up for my loss?" Su Bai asked. He was calling for help, but his friends were also scared to interfere. They point at him, telling Su Bai it was all Mingxuan's idea, and they know nothing. "I fight for supplies for you, and that's how you treat me? You bastards, are you planning to give up on me to please Lin Wonka and this guy?" Mingxian screamed. He asked for help from Wonka. He admitted his sin and asked for forgiveness. Su Bai was expecting that Wonka wouldn't forgive Mingxian. However, the lady signed and told him that Mingxian was wrong, but she wants to forgive him this time for everyone's sake. She surrendered her share for her classmates and promised not to touch Su Bai's share. Su Bai was confused. A part of him concludes that this lady only looks like his disciple with the same name. In this case, he realizes there is no need to keep this lady by his side any longer. He let go of Mingxian and said, "Then, we have concluded our deal. You have found your companions, so it's time to say goodbye. He walked away, informing the lady that she would go and find the whereabouts of the advanced zombie. However, Wonka pulled his wrist and stood. "Mr. Su Bai, I may know where the monster you are talking about is," she said. Su Bai then asked her if she had seen it, and she said no. But she could vaguely sense something odd in the school. The aura it emitted terrifies her. She wasn't sure if it was the advanced zombie Su Bai was mentioning. Su Bai was shocked since in his previous life, Wonka had the innate spiritual physique that could sense spiritual power. There is no one else in the world with this physique, but her. He got confused again, started to believe that his subordinate from his past life and Wonka in this world are just one. Back then, at the original cultivation realm, Su Bai gave Wonka a mission, and she passed it. She brought the item he was asking for. And with that, she's expecting Su Bai will make her his disciple. Su Bai asked how she found it. She suddenly kneeled and informed him that she was born with the ability to track and trace. She then swore to be the sword in Su Bai's hand and never let him down. Su Bai touched her shoulder and declared that she would be his second disciple. She told her that her future achievements will not fall short of his with her innate spiritual physique. "My life was saved by you, Senior. I would never dream of surpassing you. I only wish to serve by your side and ease your worries," Wonky replied. She was shocked when Su Bai labeled her head and touched her chin. She was blushing and thrilled when Su Bai told her not to call her a senior. At that moment, Wonka started calling her master. Right now, Su Bai is not quite sure how Wonka lost her past memories, but it doesn't matter to him, and he wants her to die. She was about to step into his soul banner and make her his servant, letting her suffer eternal soul refinement. But the lady stopped him and informed him that the advanced monster is heading their way. Su Bai was out of words when Wonka held his hand. He chuckled and suddenly laughed so loudly. He cannot believe that he almost killed the lady right away. After all, she had an innate spiritual physique, a one-of-a-kind rare body, so he believed killing her outright would be such a waste. Rather than kill her, he believes it is better to treat her as a chess piece, and once she's outlived her usefulness, he won't shortchange his dear disciple. She'll have her own place inside his soul banner. The monster Wonka sensed was outside the school building. It was heading inside while saying, "This must be it, the source of that spiritual energy. Luck's finally on my side. I couldn't recharge. I'd eventually turn into one of those half-human, half-ghost freaks." He jumped so high and directly hit the classroom where Su Bai was. Su Bai then concludes that this is the powerful creature Lin Wonka mentioned, a mutated snake demon. He feels something off about this monster, and he notices that its aura is familiar. The students run away in fear. The nerdy guy tried to open the door, but it wouldn't open. While they were trying to escape, Wonka pointed at the monster and told Su Bai that this monster was the same creature she had seen by the man-made lake. Su Bai was confused to believe that this mutated snake had spiritual energy, knowing that this wasn't some mutant beast, but actually a cultivation realm demon beast who shouldn't appear in this place. Even though this place lacks spiritual energy and is full of ghostly pests, it's way more fun than that wretched cultivation realm. I can feast on humans freely here, without those damned cultivators interfering. How delightful, the mutant snake said. He grabbed one guy and widely opened his mouth. The guy was screaming for help. A teacher approached Su Bai, asking him to save his students. She promised to do anything as long as Su Bai kept her students safe. "Whether I can or not is beside the point. But tell me, what do your lives have to do with me?" Su Bai replied. The teacher then told him she could pay him money, and he said he's not interested at all. Also, he told them not to worry, as he would collect their souls once they were dead. The mutated snake swallowed the guy, and the undead of Su Bai jumped toward the snake and hit its head. The snake was harmed and fell on the ground. The undead stood above the beast and was about to unalive it, but the snake opened its eyes and attacked the undead with its tongue. The snake stood and wrapped the undead using its tongue. Spiritual energy. I knew my nose wasn't wrong. There really is the scent of spiritual energy here. Unbelievable. It's a place like this. There's a cultivator, though their strength is weak, barely enough, but it'll do, he uttered. Su Bai was standing still while Wonka held on to his arm in fear. The undead of Su Bai cut the snake's tongue, and the mutant snake screamed in agony. "Oh, so you're coming straight for me? Then I'll just have to take you down," Su Bai said. He realizes that the mutant snake is at the foundation stage. In the past, this kind of trash wouldn't be worthy of his attack. But now, His cultivation is at the spiritual sea realm. He looked at the people behind him, realized that these people have their benefits. He planned to kill them and refine their souls, as he concluded this group of people would be enough for him to break through. Unfortunately, I can't handle this thing right now, so you guys are on your own. But if you're willing to join my 10,000 souls banner and help me break through, then there will be a glimpse of hope. He said. He told them they could refuse to cooperate, so he could just leave, and no one could stop him. He was asking them who wanted to sacrifice, but no one dared to volunteer, so he told them he had no other choice but to leave. The teacher held Wonky's arm and volunteered. "Let me do it. I just hope you take my students away from here," she said. She was wearing a necklace, and this caught Su Bai's attention when it shone. He was shocked as he knew this was a spiritual stone. He touched it and asked the teacher where he got this thing from. The teacher then replied that this was something his father found by chance many years ago. She took it off and handed it to Su Bai, asking him once again to save her students. Su Bai checked it and confirmed it was the product of the immortal realm. The quality of it isn't low. But he was wondering how this thing ended up in this world. He concludes that it's no coincidence that Wonka and he were reborn here. If that is the case, likely, he believes that his other disciples are also in this world. His system interface suddenly appeared to notify that a spiritual stone reaction was detected. As per the system, using spiritual stones to upgrade the 10,000 souls banner can also provide benefits to Su Bai and increase the level of controllable undead by 1 level. Su Bai didn't expect that something like spiritual stones could be used directly to strengthen the 10,000 souls banner, and he deduces that he needs more. "I have accepted this item, so the deal is set. You guys wait here first, don't run away," he said. The mutant snake saw the item in Su Bai's hand. He got mad and accused Su Bai of stealing from him. He charged at Su Bai and warned him he would refine him in an instant. Su Bai started refining the item and commanded his undead to block the mutant snake. The undead charged at the beast and scratched it, but the beast was able to dodge. The undead tried once again, but the same thing happened. The mutant snake tried to attack, and the undead also dodged. But after his second attack, the undead was caught. The mutant snake then looked back at Su Bai, and he was afraid Su Bai was breaking through since his aura was getting stronger. He wants to stop Su Bai, so he continued fighting with the undead. He punched it strongly, and the undead flew away. The mutant snake then laughed and said, "Let's see where you can run now." He charged back at Su Bai with killing intent, but he stopped when he felt a powerful aura from Su Bai, telling him he was noisy. "My 10,000 souls banner happens to need a foundation beast to serve as a sacrifice. And that's you," Su Bai proclaimed. The mutant snake was sweating in fear. He didn't know what was happening to him. Someone grabbed him, the undead of Su Bai, who was standing behind him. Now this undead has upgraded into an evolutionary class from an ordinary class. And Su Bai, from the spiritual sea realm, is now in a foundation realm. Su Bai then commanded his undead to kill the mutant snake. The undead struck the mutant snake with his long nail. The snake vomits blood and screeches in pain. The undead lifts him up and throws him at the rooftop. The undead stood on the rooftop while the mutant snake managed not to fall. He was hanging at the top of the building and stood back to the rooftop. "I underestimate you. I didn't expect you to be able to make a breakthrough in battle," he said. He warned the undead not to think he was not prepared at all. He screamed, calling the attention of his family, asking for help to kill the humans. His scream was loud, and shockingly, Mingxian killed his 2 friends barehandedly. "I'll obey your orders," he said with a smile. The other students were shocked that he killed his friends. They were so confused. Mingxian dropped the boys on the ground while saying, "A bunch of trash, I have tolerated you long enough. Does it feel good to be betrayed? You didn't think it would end up like this, right?" The students were scared of him. He started killing them with excitement. He was enjoying what he was doing. He vows to kill them all. The teacher was too stunned to speak. She was sitting on the ground, wondering why this thing was happening. Wonka rapped to Su Bai and asked him what was happening to Mingxian. Su Bai was smiling as he was interested in this scene. He didn't expect to see a human willingly become a beast's follower. He believes that it is better if Mingxian kills more, as he planned to make these dead his puppets under his 10,000 souls banner. Right now, the teacher can't just watch her students being killed, so he blocked Mingxian and told him to stop. Mingxian pulled her collar and asked her if she wanted to die. Mingxian was about to kill her, but she was pulled by Wonka. Teacher Lee, is there a way to appease everyone in this situation? We need to find a way to survive. Right now, we can only rely on Mr. Su Bai. Wonka said. Su Bai also doesn't want to let the teacher die, as he still wants to find the source of the spiritual stone. He needs her to lead the way for him. He activates the power of his 10,000 banners and makes the souls of the dead his puppet. Mingxian was dumbfounded, witnessing the scene. It's you again? I waited so long for my boss to appear. There is nothing stopping me now. Mingxian said. He charged at Su Bai while asking him what he could do without the protection of his monsters. Su Bai didn't respond and just summoned 4 undead. Mingxian was feasted on by the 4 undead. Mingxian was mad that these people attacking him had already been killed by him earlier. He pushed them away, but he was struggling. What's that 10,000 souls? The mutant snake asked. He belittled Su Bai's weapon and was expecting Su Bai won't use it against him. He calls Su Bai trash, and Su Bai summoned more undead and said, Huh? Trash. You have no clue who I am. My 10,000 souls banner still needs a dead soul like you as a sacrifice. Right now, Mingxian was running toward the mutant snake and asking to save him. The snake ignored Mingxian as he felt he was now in danger. He thinks this is such bad luck for him to finally meet an immortal cultivator who turned out to be a demon cultivator. He believes that Su Bai's puppet might end him, plus the fact that Su Bai has already broken through the Foundation realm, so he thinks it is better to run away. He concludes that he will not get any spiritual energy and also get in trouble at worst if he continues to fight. Mingxian reached him, but he grabbed and squeezed him. Mingxian tried to resist, asking the snake what he was doing. I gave you power, so now you must repay me, the mutant snake replied. He threw Mingxian away, and Mingxian bumped into the wall. The mutant snake then decided to leave for now, but Su Bai won't let him. He commands his undead to attack the mutant snake. The high-ranking undead of Su Bai also chased the mutant snake and caught him easily. The undead pushed him to the ground, and the building collapsed. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. Till next time.